something. Sign some of this.
Go ahead. Ricardo, I just have to start out by saying that we have not seen one another for too many years, but it is delightful.
That's my loss.
Well, it's delightful to have this chance to visit with you here in Los Angeles.
Me, thank you.
And to see you doing Khan. Now, I'll be very honest with you. I missed your first time when you did Khan in the Star Trek series.
Yes.
And I have to assume that since then there are a lot of new fans who, you know, didn't see that either. In the very beginning, how did they ever think of someone young and handsome like you to be this fellow Khan?
Well, the original character was a young man, really, who had been on cryogenic freeze for 200 years, and he was a Superman, super intellect and super physical strength, who has been in this freeze for 200 years, and the Enterprise, they find him and they bring him back to life with 72 of his people. And with this intelligence and this strength, he takes over the Enterprise and is about ready to really destroy all of them. He was a man who was a conqueror, you know, was a conqueror. He didn't think of himself as being a villain. He is being superior of intellect and everything. He felt it was his duty to conquer. That's what I played. And it worked. The character was very interesting, received great favor from the Trekkies, got a lot of mail. Today I still get mail from that, from time to time. The mentioning, we'll never forget the Khan. It was a very well-written character. Not that I did it so well, but the character itself was very well-written. And so when they revived this idea, they thought about which villain had been very effective in the past to bring him back. And lucky for me, they selected to bring Khan back, yes.
And you're such a mean, mean man. There now is so much controversy about the ending of the movie and what does happen to Spock. Is he, you know, off in the distance? Does he live? Does he die?
I haven't seen the picture yet. I haven't had a chance. I've been so busy, but I'm going to see it very soon.
But what about the controversy? Do you think that's just studio hype or no?
I don't think so. I think that, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I think there were many elements involved. One of them probably, I don't know if Leonard Nimoy for a while felt that he didn't want to continue playing this character, maybe, or at least had certain doubts, you see, continue playing it. And then I think it may have stemmed from that rather than a ploy by the studio to hype the box office. I think it started with that. I think Leonard has certain, perhaps as I would, certain questions to say, you know, that's enough of playing this character. But on the other hand, he does it so well, you know, and all of them, and Shatner, my goodness, you know, they're all consummate actors, that I think that perhaps Leonard would change his mind when he sees the success that this is going to have, because I think it's going to be a very successful movie. And to come back for Nimoy would be wonderful. One more great payday and joy of doing these wonderful movies of Star Trek. I'm just guessing, Bobbie. I'm talking to you very candidly. I don't know really the reason behind it, but I suspect that had something to do with it.
Sounds logical.
Yes.
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 Ricardo, have you ever stopped to analyze just what the whole Trekkie phenomena is about?
I think it's escaping the reality of the Earth, whose reality is not that appealing. You can't pick up a paper without hearing disaster and tragedy and fear. And for one magic hour to get on the Enterprise and explore the heavens away from this mess and with hopes to a future. I have a feeling, for some reason, that the population explosion cannot be resolved by abortion. I think the population explosion is telling us that man was destined to populate the heavens. And I think that is going to be the future of man up there. I really have a firm belief in that. I think that is the answer to the population explosion, not killing babies. I just don't believe in that. I think that's the answer. And I think that perhaps in us is that knowledge and that fascination with what's out there, which eventually I'm sure we're going to populate. I mean, that's my opinion. Perhaps I know what I'm talking about, but that's the feeling that I have, Bobbie.
Your own program, Fantasy Island, you're now in your 6th year. Do you think that this same escapism is what has granted it such popularity?
Yes, I think Fantasy Island offers hope. People come with fantasies and very often dreaming about things that they think are going to be wonderful. And very often they find that when the fantasy becomes a reality, it ceases to be a fantasy. They discover through that reality that their own reality in life is much more palatable than they thought they were, and they go home contented. So it offers hope. It offers escapism, of course. And I think, yeah, that's part of it today, yes. The papers are so, the news is so distressing. I mean, it's just, in the mornings, I read it quickly so I know what's going on, but my goodness, I could hardly wait to get to the sports page and end with a good dessert, a very bad meal, you know.
Ricardo, when Hervé Villechaize was having his problems with the producers, did you side with him?
No, I don't take sides. I sympathize with some of his claims. Others, I thought that he lost a little bit of perspective, you know, like everything else. There are two sides to every story. And his demands were a little more than the producers could meet, and he wanted more time off and so forth. So we gave him, he did every other show. He alternated with Wendy Shaw. She would do one show, and that way he could rest and not complain about it. He has some medical attention that he needs, nothing serious, but he does need some therapy because his little body is, you know, I understand the organs inside are much larger than the cavity of his little body. So he does go through great discomfort at times, and for that I sympathize and love him for it, you know. But on the other hand, I think that he discovered that that was not the way to do a television series. You either do it or don't do it, you know. And this year he's decided he's going to do it, and we already started shooting, and it's a different man. He's happy, he's cheerful, very cooperative, and I think we're going to have a very happy and a very good season, this 6th season.
And how long do you see Fantasy Island going on?
I don't know, Bobbie. I don't know. I thought 5 years, but now we're on our 6th. And I think next year is going to be a better year for us, because last year, I don't know if you remember that we had the writer's strike. And I really consider it a triumph and almost a miracle that we ended the season as successfully as we did, because we bought the 22 scripts, and then there they were, and then the strike comes, and we were doing really first drafts. I mean, the thing that you send, you know, that's an idea. That's what we're shooting. It's a miracle that we got some very good shows, you know. But next year we're very well prepared. We have some very lovely stories, and I think it's going to be a very good season next year.
Ricardo, one last question, and that is, what is your fantasy dream? Do you have one?
No, I have to be truthful with you, because I've been asked that a couple of times, and I have to give you the only answer that I have, because it's the true answer. I don't dream or fantasize. Hollywood took care of that. You don't dare dream. Your dreams are destroyed very quickly. You just forge ahead, and once in a while you get a good break here and there, but you don't dare dream, because my dreams have been destroyed, you know. Never lost my enthusiasm or my optimism, but I don't dream. So the only fantasy that's worthwhile to me, the only thing that I would like in this earth is, you know, peace to men of goodwill. That's the only fantasy that I can think of that is worthwhile.
Well, we couldn't end on a better note, could we? Ricardo, again, just wonderful to see you, and congratulations on a fantastic performance.
Thank you, Bobbie.
I enjoyed it very, very much.
Very happy to hear that. Very sweet. Thank you. Very pretty.
Okay. Okay, questions. All right. When you did the original Con in 1967, how in the world did the producers ever think of you for that? All this controversy about Spock, he dies, he lives. What are your comments on that, Ricardo? Do you think all this controversy about Spock, whether he lives or he dies, is just studio hype? Ricardo, how would you explain the Trekkie phenomena? All right. Okay. When Hervé was having all his difficulties with the producers, were you on his side? Okay, that's it.